All right, let's talk about one of the biggest, most exciting stories in college football right now, the FIU Panthers. They're sitting at an incredible 4-0, and today we're going to break down exactly how this team, led by a bunch of incredible freshmen and a downright punishing defense, is making so much noise.
So here's the game plan. We're going to start by putting their latest win under the microscope. Then, we'll zoom out and look at the whole 4-0 journey. After that, it's scouting report time. We'll get into the strengths and, yes, the weaknesses. And finally, we'll look down the road at what's coming up for this Panther squad.
Let's kick this thing off with their most recent game against Northern Illinois. Because, look, this wasn't just a win. It was a complete statement. And it's the perfect snapshot of what makes this FIU team so dangerous.
Just look at that final score, 35-7. I mean, that tells you pretty much everything you need to know. This was a dismantling from start to finish, total, absolute control.
So, the big question is, how did they do it? And it wasn't just one thing. This was a clinical, surgical performance on both sides of the ball. It was a masterclass in how offense and defense should feed off each other.
It all begins with the freshman phenom at quarterback, Cameron Dyer. I mean, get a load of these numbers. The efficiency is off the charts, 15 for 18. But he's not just a pocket passer. He is a legitimate threat with his legs. 3 total touchdowns. The kid was basically unstoppable.
And you can't talk about Dyer without talking about his running mate, another freshman, Joshua Huerta. This guy is the definition of a versatile weapon. He sliced through Northern Illinois on the ground and through the air. We're talking over 150 all-purpose yards and a touchdown. What a 1-2 punch.
And this is what should really scare future opponents. It's not just the Dyer and Huerta show. The moment you focus too much on them, you've got guys like JoJo Stones stepping up and making huge, game-changing plays. This offense has layers.
But listen, for all the fireworks on offense, the real story here, it was this defense. They were a brick wall, absolutely suffocating. Jaden Scarlett was living in the backfield, and they held the entire NIU offense to under 200 yards. And maybe the most important stat on the entire screen, 0 turnovers by the FIU offense. That is the perfect recipe for a blowout.
So that dominant performance was no accident. It wasn't a fluke. Let's pull back the lens a little bit and see how FIU built this perfect 4-0 record, piece by piece.
You can actually see the evolution of this team right here on the timeline. They started out with a gritty, tough, defensive win, but ever since then, the offense has just completely caught fire. We're talking 35 points or more in their last 3 games. That is just incredible consistency.
If you want to know the identity of this football team, this chart says it all. It's about pure physical domination. They're running for over 220 yards a game while holding teams to under 100. That's not just winning the line of scrimmage, that's owning it.
So when you boil it all down, the formula is actually pretty simple, but boy, is it effective. Pound the rock and control the clock with a punishing run game on offense, and just create absolute chaos with your defense.
Okay, let's put on our coaching caps for a second. If you're game planning against FIU, what are you worried about? What are the things that keep you up at night? And where are the potential cracks in the armor?
Now, this is what I find so fascinating. Their biggest strength and their biggest weakness are basically 2 sides of the same coin. All that young, explosive talent is what makes them so dynamic, but youth can also lead to inconsistency and mistakes. The whole season might come down to managing that balance.
And you can see that youth movement in black and white right here. These are your leaders. A freshman QB with 14 touchdowns and, get this, 0 interceptions. A freshman running back who's a touchdown machine. And on defense, you've got young playmakers like Pruitt and Scarlett just flying to the football.
So, with a perfect 4-0 record, a ton of buzz, a ton of momentum, the question for FIU is no longer about what they've done. It's about what they're going to do next.
And this quote from Coach Mike Hardunket tells you everything you need to know about the culture inside that locker room. He's happy with the win, sure, but he immediately pivots to the things they need to fix. That never-satisfied mindset is exactly what keeps a young team hungry and focused.
So here's the bottom line. If FIU wants to keep this undefeated streak alive, this is their to-do list. They have to clean up the penalties, be more efficient in the red zone, and get better protection up front. As the schedule gets tougher, these aren't little things anymore. They're everything.
And all of this leads us to the ultimate question. We've seen the talent, we've seen the results, but now the target is on their back. So, with everyone watching, are the FIU Panthers the real deal? Just how high can this team fly? That's what we're all waiting to find out.